Oh, I have to.
Huh?
It made me like concede to the recording. Okay.
I know. It's a new thing.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What is up, Jen Mertlin?
Hey, Monica. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. What kind of trouble you been into lately?
There's this thing that I saw. I went to some Irish bar last night.
Of course you did.
No, I didn't drink though.
Oh, excuse me.
I know.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. But it was something about like when you see that glint in like an Irish person's eye, like you know they're up to trouble. Like,
yeah,
I can see that.
That's
see
you.
That.
Are you Irish?
Oh yeah.
McMertlin?
I guess so.
I think we shall now call you Jen McMertlin.
Do it. I love it. You're Irish too, aren't you? You're a mutt.
I'm a mutt.
You got some Irish in there.
Yep, I'm quite sure of it.
Shout out to all our Irish friends. Where are our listeners in Ireland?
Oh my gosh.
We've got to get
maybe
somebody.
After this episode, we'll get them.
Maybe we'll do that for St. Patrick's Day or something.
I like it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. We really appreciate you being here. And today, Jen and I are going to duke it out over this. Where does the job of a realtor begin and where does it end? Wah, wah. Where does the job of a realtor begin and where does it end? Merlin, take it away. What do you got on this?
Well, oh God. I don't even remember how this question came up. This makes my hair turn gray. But I think it's like, you see all these posts about all these agents that are like, doing all these crazy things for their client. And it's like, I'm sorry, are you their real estate agent? Are you their butler? Like, what are you? You know what I mean? Like, are you the pool guy? They're like cutting grass. They're like, and I can understand in like some markets, right? Like it's like but I don't know. Even if you have like a second home market, which we don't have here, nobody wants a second home in Ohio. It's Cincinnati, Ohio.
Correct.
Along the river, the dirty river.
The dirty river.
Yeah. So like, even if you have a second home market, that could be like part of your package. Like, here's the things that you will need. Here's my contacts. Like, you know what I mean? Like the grass cutter, if there's grass, the palm tree clipper, I don't know, whatever it is. Right. I don't know. I'm not a stager. I'm not a photographer. I don't cut grass. I'm not cleaning your house. Like, I don't know. I mean, you're a concierge realtor. What do you think?
I'm a concierge realtor in that I customize things for people, strategies and plans and approaches. But I am now I have cleaned out a pool before. I have taken a pool cover off. Like I have done things when they needed to be accomplished and the seller couldn't. That is the exception versus the rule for me. I think sometimes we have to
do you exhaust like all possibilities? Because sometimes people will just ask you for things because they're used to you saying yes, or it's easier. So like, how do you say no to a client?
I give them the resources. Hey, here are 3 people that can call. Maybe they can help.
Okay.
I think
Monica, can you change the batteries and all the smoke detectors? As you know, we are moving out. We moved out of town, and you're selling the house. But
oh my gosh, I would love to do that. I make a little too much money. I don't know that you would want me to go over and do that because I don't think you could afford me doing that.
You did not say that.
I'm just kidding, but I really would love to say that. I do not say that. It just depends on the situation. If usually by then I know a little bit about the dynamics of who's in town and whatever, or if they have a relationship with a neighbor or whatever, and I would make that recommendation. If there was absolutely nothing, I mean, aside from somebody walking through that house with freaking beeping smoke alarms, then I'm going to go over and take care of it.
How are you going to get your ladder there, girl?
I have a ladder. I have a car that fits the ladder.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's just a little SUV thing.
I don't have a car that fits any ladders.
You get to easily say, I don't have the ability to do that. Right? But you probably have a handyman at your fingertips, don't you?
Yes.
So would you?
Well, I know, like I had a client, they don't usually ask me to do weird things because I'm okay saying no.
Yeah.
Or, you know, but like I had a client that was like, hey, can you pull the trash cans? Because they were gone already. He's like, hey, can you pull the trash cans down and like back or whatever? And it was like it's like 40 minutes away from me. And I was like, do you have a friend that's a neighbor? Like, doesn't that make more sense? He was like, we really don't. I was like, what? Like, you have no friends, man? Come on.
And so did you go do it?
I did it. Well, Alan did it.
Alan did it, of course. Well, you have an Alan, you have a handyman.
Exactly.
Who happens to also be licensed.
I'm trying to think of like some of the stories that I've heard too, because it's so interesting. I think the most common thing that agents get themselves into is that they'll stage the property, or they'll do some type of staging consultation. They'll take pictures themselves. They'll, you know, things like that. And it's like, why are you doing that?
Well, I guess it depends on if that's one of your offerings, and maybe you're charging a premium, maybe charging 7% and doing some staging. And if you're good at that, and that is an area you excel in, and you know, you can make them more money. I mean,
maybe, but I would doubt that that's what's happening.
You think they're just kind of putting that hat on? Like, you remember the commercial where the guy pulls up to the house and he gets out and he's got his like stogie and he rips off the magnetic sign that said roofs, and then he puts the new one on and it says windows, and he goes, today we do windows.
No, I never saw that. What was that for?
I don't know, but it was a long time ago. Basically, whatever it was for was either for a roofing or a winding. Like, don't get some handyman that's not specialized. We're specially.
Well, and that I like that, because that's like the point here, right? It's like, I think that people get confused about that real estate. Like, our job is actually, it's sales. It is a sales job. So like, while you're taking pictures and doing a staging consultation, I'm calling the neighbors to see who they know that want to live in the neighborhood. I'm calling wherever the buyers live now and seeing if they want to move up. I'm calling agents and saying, hey, look, the MLS said you, in reverse prospecting, said you had a client that matched this criteria. So like, what is actually better for your client? But I mean, but some people are bold. They'll just ask for anything.
But here's an area that's similar, I think, to where you and I kind of agree on this. Is I have a practice in my business that if there's an out-of-town client, I will charge an additional 0.5%, because I'm crystal clear that I'm going to be doing things that I wouldn't normally do.
That's a great idea.
I just have that out-of-town feature, and that at least gives us the conversation.
Like a flat fee or something like that too, kind of depending.
Right, because I'm going to be running over there.
So what does that include?
I'm going to make sure the lights are off. I'm going to be meeting a contractor over there. I'm going to be doing a lot of extra interactions time-wise. And if you want me to do that, I am happy to do it. I do charge a 0.5% additional for that. If you have friends and family here that you know you can rely on, then we don't need to do that. I just like to have this conversation up front to know what the expectation is.
So you just tell them, hey, if I'm going to be, here's what I can do, but this is the charge, or do you have somebody that can do this? And then this would be the fee.
That's right. And I just say my experience tells me after 18 years that when an out of town, when my client is out of town, I'm going to have a lot more interaction with the house and with, you know, physical interaction with being there.
So like that, about how many times are you like going to the house, you think, on average, more with like what does that cover?
I would say it's probably, you know, a 6 to a dozen times more. Depending if they're out of town. I mean, just depends. If you're letting people in and letting contractors in after the inspection negotiations have happened and they're not there.
I need to get my calculator out, because that doesn't sound like enough money.
It might not be. And maybe sometimes I'm coming out ahead and maybe sometimes I'm not, but at least what it does is it gives you an opportunity to have that discussion.
But you could also have some type of like runner person that helps with that. And you could even be like, in my experience, it's helpful if we hire this person or this service or whatever to do that, because you have a huge opportunity cost there doing that type of work. I know you're making money for it, but it's kind of like, depends on, I don't know.
Well, I think it also depends. If I'm working on $1 million house and I'm going to make $30,000, I'm a lot more happy to go over and run a few errands over to their house than I am on a $125,000 house. Let's just be real. There are financial sort of boundaries there.
Sure, sure. And that could be like, if you do your math, if you need help with math, please call me. 513-400-1691.
No one will set you more straight on math than Merlin.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I think you make good points.
I want to take this in a little different direction though. In my mind, I love that we talked about that, because I think agents should set boundaries on that, or at least, hey, will you be needing me outside of my traditional real estate, whatever? And well, what does that mean? And then at least you talk about it. But
good idea.
I want to talk about it a little bit more from the idea that agents really think that their job as a real estate agent is to get somebody from, first conversation to the closing table.
Okay.
That's when I'm acting like a realtor. All right. I'm writing contracts. I'm showing houses, whatever. We've talked in other episodes that I think your job is to do the lead generation and the attraction. And then those things are a result of your job, right? One thing I see missing from our industry is the idea that we can be a real estate agent for people post-close, and we can be a real estate agent for people who are not buying houses from us. Meaning we can still be
relationships.
We can still be a resource. No, it's a resource. We can be the person they go to for that information. We can come from contribution about data of the market. That's how you become their real estate agent.
That's true.
So I like to think of it as like past tense versus present tense agent. And the more people you are a present tense agent, meaning they say, Jen is my agent versus Jen was my agent. Like the more people that use that language, that present tense language around you today as an agent, the more business you're going to have. And so I had an agent once say, your financial planner requires that you meet with them once a year about your investment. Why wouldn't I, on the anniversary of their, purchase, say, hey, would you like to get together and look at what the market's doing? Oh my God,
what a great idea.
Freaking genius.
I love it.
Right? And so now you are their consultant for the investment. You're thought of differently. You're not fucking bringing ladders over or whatever.
No, that's perfect. I love that. I'm going to do that. Look at you and your good points.
Well, it wasn't me.
Agents, all that.
Full credit to Gail Rothmiller. She asked that question in a coaching group that I was leading.
Gail.
I know. Hey, Gail. Well, you have to tag her in this one. Shout out. And it was just brilliant. It was just a mindset shift it went along with this idea that I really do want to be an agent today for somebody that maybe hasn't bought a house from me yet.
Right.
Because I know if I hold that position, I'm getting that deal.
So, how are you doing that? You're saying like being a resource. Like, give us some examples of that. Cause your example of like, doing a once a year analysis or whatever makes a lot of sense, but even if it's every couple years, whatever. Right. But like, what is,
so that's for past clients, making sure you're providing them information. If a school levy passes or something that affects the value of the home, like they should be getting that.
You could even do that with your sphere.
Yep, for sure.
Hey, I know you've lived in this house, like for how many ever years, and it's common that people start to think about moving around this time. And generally to my clients, we do this analysis. Do you want to do one too?
Be happy to do one for you as well. Yeah. But the other thing is as simple as just posting every day about real estate and informing, educating, and demonstrating what you do for a living.
Right.
I have people that would call me their agent, even though I have never sold them a house. Because I am the one that provides them information about this market, about staging, funny, you and I both like to post funny memes or like crappy pictures we see and bad MLS photos or whatever. We're still providing that link to me as their real estate consultant.
Right. And shout out to Ghost Poster, your product that we use that actually we have, they can get it.
What's that?
They can get Ghost Poster.
They can get Ghost Poster. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started putting cause maybe the audience doesn't know, but didn't know how to use a computer or Facebook or anything a couple years ago. And, and then I moved out of the country and I was like, oh shit, I should learn how to use a computer.
Right. And look what you did from all over the world. You stayed connected with people.
Right. Yeah. But like, right, like to your point, I mean, we were getting a lot of sphere of influence, but it wasn't as much as we did when we started using Ghost Poster and doing like the postings every day, like you're saying. And it was people that were in my sphere, but had never used me, or people that I didn't even know, but they were friends on Facebook asking questions and then wanting to meet and talk about their house. So that definitely does help.
And we have to remind people every single day, because guess what? We're not the center of their universe.
What?
And they forget about us. What?
Yes.
We have to remind people every day. And that's where I kind of took this conversation, is where does our job begin and end? I don't think it ever ends. If you want more business, you have to show up like a realtor all the time to everybody.
Right.
So I love the angle we took in the beginning, because I think that's also a really important, like, boundaries to set.
Stop it.
Important. Right. And some of us do more of that than we should, but it's also a mindset of, just knowing that you can be a realtor to everybody. You don't have to sell them a house.
No, that's true. I really like that. But I think like part of that is defining what is it that is your job and what do you do? And part of defining what you do is clarifying what you don't do. And then if you think that you're going to be asked that, then go ahead and, have a solution for it, for the question ahead of time. I like
great. And maybe in that listing consultation, you're saying, hey, outside of my standard role here, which would be X, Y, and Z, what do you think you might need from me? Are you available during the day? Do you have family? Do you have friends? Or am I going to be expected to help there? Because I do have an offering for that, but it is, a little higher percentage.
Right. Cool. I like it. Well, all right, let's go back to our corner, shall we?
I think we should.
Let's have some tea.
Let's do a spot of tea.
Spot of tea. All right. Well, we'll head back to our corner and you will hear a word from some of our partners. And when we return, we will have the final punches.
Welcome back. Let's get back inside the ring to this battle, which was maybe just more of a sparring, I would say.
I think you made better points than I did. So I'm going to concede.
Oh, thanks. But you did jab me a little bit because of my concierge service approach.
It's just because I'm hostile.
I know you are. All right. Did you talk to anybody else about this? Did we take it out onto the streets?
Yeah, we did take it out onto the streets. So stay tuned for that. And I did get some funny stories, but not everybody wanted to share.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't want to go like live and share. They were concerned. But yeah, there's been some funny stories. I'd love to hear like people's stories about what clients ask them to do. Like,
oh my gosh,
the weirdest. We should have a prize for the weirdest story.
We should. Yes, we should. Remember to go to our Facebook page, Real Estate Fight Club Podcast, and let us know if you have a story you want to share. We'd love to either get you on as a guest or just hear about it on the Facebook page. But
exactly.
So, Jen, what do you think are healthy boundaries for agents to put up?
Well, I think anything that is not sales related, I think there needs to be, like you said, there needs to be some type of solution. I'm not 100% on board with charging additional commission or an extra fee to fill that solution. I don't think it should be you. I think that there's a better use of your time. And I know that there's a fee associated with it, but I just don't think it's probably not enough. So I think it needs to be a person.
Then you should have resources to offer them, right? And, I was thinking on the break, when we were on the break from our partner message, I was thinking about estate attorneys, because you and I often talk about raising the level of professionalism in our industry. And, I often go to the medical or law industry. Right. And, you'd never see your estate attorney coming to help clean out the house.
No.
Right. They don't do that.
Right. So why the F do we?
Right. It's true. I just had a little aha around that. So
yeah. So you need to get a person instead of charging.
So thank you. So my angle was, I agree with you. I think we need to have that conversation, set the boundaries, whatever you're comfortable with. Don't be afraid to just be the resource for those things. But my angle is thinking about, your job as a real estate agent is never really over if you're providing information and coming from contribution. And
so there really is never a beginning or an end, though. You're a circle.
We're just a circle of information.
Or is it an infinity? What are you? I think you're
infinity. Yes. I like it. All right. I think that's going to have to be the end of today's battle. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor and like and subscribe and follow and all the things.
And share it with your friends.
Share it.
Especially if they're in Ireland. Give us some Ireland listeners.
Yes, because Jennifer McMurtlin and Monica McWeekly are in the house.
Oh, Weekly. You can be O Weekly.
Oh, Weekly.
Oh, Weekly. I like it.
Do you know what's Irish and stays out all night?
Oh.
Patty O Furniture.
Are you a dad?
That
was like a dad joke.
Total dad
that
joke.
Was actually super funny. I like it.
Thank you.
And of course, you probably already know by now, but we are on Clubhouse Thursdays at noon Eastern time. So please join us there, and you can yell at us in person if we bring you on stage. Clubhouse is a weird thing.
Clubhouse is interesting.
I don't know. Anyway, and if you have any questions about EXP or you're interested in finding out more, please call me at 513-400-1691. Thanks, Monica.
My pleasure. I'll see you next time, Mert.
Bye-bye.
Bye.